Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something real simple. People will only treat you the way you allow them to. And when it comes to men, oh, trust me, they take notes the moment you show them what you will and will not accept. Let me tell you something straight from experience. Respect don't start when people say your name right. Respect don't start when someone brings you flowers or compliments you in front of a crowd. Respect starts the minute you show the world what your standards are. That's where it begins. That's where people start paying attention, because people treat you based on how you treat yourself. You teach them every single day by what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you expect. You ever notice how folks start acting different the moment you stop making exceptions? The moment you stop explaining why you deserve better? That's the power of standards. The truth is, people will rise or fall based on what you set. You give someone the blueprint, here's how I want to be talked to, here's how I expect to be treated, here's what I accept, and now they got a choice to make. They can either meet you there or fall back. But if you don't set that blueprint, if you don't show up clear and grounded in your value, people are going to play with you. And it won't even be their fault because you never showed them where the line was. You don't get respect by lowering your standards just to be liked. You don't get it by saying yes to everything just to keep someone close. Let me be real. People may stay if you make it easy for them, but they won't respect you. And you can feel that. You know when someone's presence is full of care, and you know when they're just sticking around because they can get what they want without giving what you need. And that's what happens when standards are missing. See, too many people walking around thinking they got to shrink to fit in, thinking that if they just bend a little, adjust a little, compromise a little more, maybe they'll get love, maybe they'll earn someone's time, maybe they'll finally be seen. But I'm here to tell you, respect don't live in that space. It's not hiding behind silence. It's not buried in maybe next time. Respect is right there in your standards, and the tighter you hold them, the stronger the message becomes. Let me be real with you. People may not like your standards. Some may even walk away. But I promise you this, the ones who stay, they'll respect the hell out of you. They'll show up different. They'll speak to you with care. They'll move with consideration. Why? Because they see that you ain't here to settle. They see that you've got something most folks don't, self-worth. And once people see that, they either rise up to meet it or step to the side. Now, here's the thing. It takes courage. It takes real strength to keep your standards high in a world that's always trying to bring them down. You'll feel pressure. You'll have moments where you question yourself. You'll wonder, am I asking for too much? But let me remind you, asking for what you deserve ain't too much. That's the bare minimum for someone who truly respects you. And if they can't meet that, it's not your job to lower your expectations. It's their job to either step up or step off. You are not here to make people comfortable at the cost of your peace. You're not here to dim your light so someone else doesn't feel insecure. You're not here to blend in when you were born to stand strong. Your standards are the doorway to the life you actually want. And if you start compromising just to be chosen, you'll always feel like you're chasing something that should be coming to you naturally. Respect. You don't have to explain yourself when your standards are set right. People who value you will get it. People who don't, they were never meant to be in your space anyway. So set that bar high, keep it high. Because when you carry yourself with that kind of self-respect, the world starts moving different around you. People show up different. And most importantly, you start seeing yourself the way you were always meant to, powerful, worthy, and untouchable by anything less. Let me break this down for you, plain and simple. A man can't respect what he can't understand. And when I say that, I'm talking about clarity, being clear about who you are, what you want, and what you stand for. Men respect clarity. They respect a woman or a person who is direct, consistent, and sure about their own value. Confusion that gets overlooked, indecision that gets ignored, mixed signals that gets disrespected. See, the moment you stop playing around with your words and start showing up in your truth, that's the moment people start treating you different. You don't get points for being silent about what bothers you. You don't win any loyalty by swallowing your standards just to avoid a tough conversation. That's not strength. That's fear dressed up as patience. And men see that. They may not always say it out loud, but they know when you're unsure. They can sense when you're second guessing your worth. And when they see that, they don't take you seriously. It's just real. But when you show up with clarity, when your words match your energy, when your expectations are spoken, not hinted at, when your boundaries are vocal, not just felt, that's when a man knows he's got to come correct. Saying what you mean is powerful. It's a form of self-respect. You're not sitting there hoping he picks up on the hints. You're not playing games, trying to see who cares more. You're not out here proving your value to somebody who hasn't earned access to you. You're just being honest. You're being straight. You're letting people know, hey, this is what I expect. This is what I give, and this is what I don't accept. And that kind of clarity, that kind of truth, it demands respect. See, the problem a lot of people run into is they want to be chosen without being clear. They want someone to commit to them while they're still unsure about themselves. That's confusion. That's where the miscommunication starts. You don't need to test anybody. You don't need to pretend to care less. You need to be clear. If you want loyalty, say it. If you need honesty, say it. If something bothers you, speak on it. Because silence might keep the peace for a moment, but it costs you your respect in the long run. Men may act like they don't listen, but trust me, they do. They hear your tone, they hear your hesitation, they hear when you say it's fine, but your energy says otherwise. And when you keep doing that, when you keep holding back, not being real, not being clear, it becomes easy for them to push your limits, break your boundaries, and still feel like they did nothing wrong. Why? Because you never told them straight. You never laid it out in a way that made it undeniable. The strongest position you can ever be in is when your words and your energy match. When you say what you mean and you stand by it. When you don't ask for clarity, you give it. That's when a man knows he's dealing with someone different. Not someone he can play with, not someone he can call only when it's convenient, but someone he has to step up for, someone he has to be honest with, someone he has to respect. Let me tell you something real. You don't have to raise your voice to be heard. You just have to be sure of what you're saying. You don't have to convince someone of your worth. You just have to express it clearly and back it up with action. Stop leaving space for confusion. Stop watering down your message to keep someone around. If a man wants to be in your life, he should know exactly what that requires. And the only way he'll know is if you stop dancing around the truth and start living in it. Clarity isn't aggressive. It's not rude. It's not cold. It's a form of love for yourself. It shows people how to show up for you. It lets them know you're not here to be a maybe. You're here to be respected. And that starts the moment you decide to stop being confusing about what you need and start being clear about who you are. Time is the most valuable thing you've got. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose friends and find new ones. You can even lose opportunities and get another shot. But once your time is gone, it's gone for good. You can't rewind it. You can't buy it back. That's why I always say time is power. And if it's power, you better be careful who you're giving it to, because the people who truly value you are the ones who value your time. They don't waste it, they don't take it for granted, and they sure don't make you feel like an option when you've been giving them priority. People will take as much of your time as you let them. Some folks don't even mean harm, but they'll drain your energy, interrupt your focus, and pull you into mess that has nothing to do with you. And if you're not mindful, you'll look up one day and realize you spent years giving time to people who never deserved it in the first place. Time in conversations that didn't grow you, time in relationships that didn't respect you, time in situations that didn't serve you. And the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to walk away. Because time builds attachment, but it doesn't always build value. You've got to start treating your time like a gift, not a giveaway. Every minute you spend on someone is a piece of your life you'll never get back. So ask yourself, are you investing it or wasting it? Are you pouring into people who pour back into you? Or are you just available to everybody who asks for your attention, your energy, your presence? Because when you're always available, you become easy to overlook. People start assuming you'll always pick up, always show up, always be there, no matter how they treat you. But when you start guarding your time, when you start saying, no, I can't do that, or no, I'm not free for that, people start realizing they can't just access you whenever they want. They have to earn your time, not expect it. And I get it. You want to be nice. You want to be supportive. You don't want to seem selfish. But protecting your time isn't selfish. It's smart. It's wise. It's mature. You're not here to be everything for everybody. You're here to walk in your purpose, protect your peace, and move toward the life you were created to live. And that life doesn't come from wasting time on people who make excuses instead of effort. It doesn't come from waiting around for someone to treat you right. It comes from being intentional with who gets your minutes, your hours, your days, because those add up to your life. If someone can't respect your time, they can't respect your value. That's just the truth. Whether it's someone always showing up late, someone who only calls when they need something, or someone who makes you feel guilty for putting yourself first. They don't value your time. And when they don't value your time, they don't value you. You've got to pay attention to that. Because every time you say yes to someone who doesn't respect you, you say no to something that could have been good for you. You say no to rest. You say no to peace. You say no to growth. And that's a heavy price to pay just to keep someone around who never really saw your worth in the first place. Start moving like your time is precious. Stop giving it away like it's nothing. Because one day, you're going to wish you had more of it. And when that day comes, the only thing you want is to know you spent it with people who mattered. People who appreciated it, people who didn't waste it. That's how you build a life of meaning, by giving your time only to those who truly deserve it. There's a lot of folks out here walking around exhausted, drained, burned out, not because they're doing too much, but because they're saying yes to too much. Always trying to be available, always trying to please everybody. Always afraid that saying no is going to make them look mean or difficult. But let me break it down for you. Saying no is not about being rude. It's not an attitude. It's not you being harsh or cold or selfish. It's self-respect. That little two-letter word carries power. It says, I value myself enough to protect my time, my peace, my energy, and my values. Some of the most respected people in the world got there because they knew when to say no, not just to other people, but to things that didn't line up with their vision, to relationships that didn't feel right, to opportunities that looked good but came with too high a cost. They weren't out here saying yes just to keep the peace or make people happy. They understood that a weak yes can destroy your confidence way faster than a strong no ever will. Because every time you say yes when you really wanted to say no, you're betraying yourself. You're choosing other people's comfort over your own clarity. And over time, that chips away at your spirit. You want to know what makes people respect you instantly? Boundaries, firm ones. And one of the most powerful boundaries you can ever set is the ability to say no without guilt. You don't owe everybody your time. You don't owe everybody an explanation. You don't have to justify protecting your energy. If someone gets offended because you said no to something that didn't feel right for you, let them be offended. That's not your problem. You weren't put here to be everybody's backup plan, cheerleader, or emotional dumping ground. Saying no is how you stay in control of your life. Because the moment you start saying yes out of fear, out of pressure, out of the need to be liked, that's when you lose control. That's when your schedule fills up with stuff you didn't ask for, your peace starts disappearing, and your relationships start feeling one-sided. And here's what's even worse. When people get used to your yes, they stop appreciating it. They expect it. They start to feel entitled to it. But when you start saying no, they have to stop and think. They realize they can't just pull on you anytime they want, that they have to earn your yes, not demand it. The truth is, people will treat your time and energy the same way you treat it. If you treat your peace like it's not important, so will they. If you bend every time someone asks you to, they'll expect you to stay bent. But if you stand firm, if you say no when something doesn't serve you, they'll either step up or step off. And both are fine. Because either way, you're staying true to yourself. And that's where real respect begins. You don't need to feel bad for having limits. You're not being dramatic. You're not overreacting. You're simply honoring your own capacity. Because the more you honor yourself, the less tolerance you have for anything that disrupts your peace. Saying no gives you space to rest, to reflect, to recharge. It gives you the chance to say yes to the things that actually matter, to the people who respect your boundaries, and to the opportunities that align with your purpose. So stop thinking of no as something negative. It's not a rejection, it's a declaration. It's you declaring, I matter, my time matters, my peace matters. And anybody who truly values you will never have a problem with you saying no. In fact, they'll respect you more for it. Because people might not always like boundaries, but they sure do respect the people who have them. And that kind of respect, it lasts. Let me tell you something real. Everybody can get angry. Anybody can raise their voice. Anybody can throw shade, snap back, or lose control. That's easy. That's emotional. That's human. But not everybody has the strength to stay calm when chaos shows up. Not everybody has the discipline to keep their cool when disrespect knocks at the door. And the people who do, those are the ones that earn real respect. Because self-control, that's a different kind of power. That's the kind of strength that doesn't have to announce itself. It shows up in silence, in composure, in knowing that you don't have to match someone's energy just to prove you're not weak. See, a lot of people think yelling means strength, that popping off means you're standing up for yourself, that going off on somebody shows you're not to be played with. But here's the truth. Anybody can do that. It takes nothing to lose control. But it takes everything to hold it together when everything in you wants to explode. That's where the real growth is. That's where the difference is made. That's where people step back and say, whoa, I can't rattle this one. I can't shake this one. I've got to deal with this person differently. When you walk in self-control, you don't let people pull you into their mess. You don't let their bad attitude become yours. You don't let their drama dictate your behavior. You understand that your peace is not for sale. Your dignity is not up for grabs. And your reaction is not a gift you give to just anybody. Because once you lose control, you lose position. You say things you can't take back. You do things you didn't mean. You hurt your own character trying to prove a point to someone who probably didn't deserve your attention in the first place. People respect what they can't provoke. Let me say that again. People respect what they can't provoke. If they can make you mad easily, if they can throw you off your game, if they know exactly what buttons to push to get a rise out of you, then they know they control you. Not fully, but emotionally. And when someone controls your emotions, they've got power over you. But when you don't give them that access, when you don't flinch, when you stay calm and firm, you take that power back. That's when they realize they can't play with you the way they thought they could. Now, don't confuse self-control with weakness. Just because you don't react doesn't mean you didn't notice. Just because you stay quiet doesn't mean you didn't feel disrespected. It just means you're playing a different game, a smarter one. You understand that everything doesn't need a response. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves your time. Sometimes your silence is louder than any words you could say. Sometimes your calm is the thing that shakes them the most. Because nothing's more frustrating to a person trying to get under your skin than realizing they don't have that kind of access to you anymore. Self-destroy is a decision. It's a choice to rise above, to lead with wisdom, to value peace over pride. And every time you make that choice, you build more respect, not just from others, but from yourself. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to love yourself more. Because you're no longer driven by reaction, you're guided by purpose. People will test you, they'll try you, they'll press your buttons, but what matters is how you handle it. What matters is whether you let them drag you into their world or you stand firm in yours. Self-control is not about pretending something doesn't bother you. It's about deciding that what bothers you won't control you. And that kind of discipline, that's not just respectable, that's powerful, that's rare, and that's what sets you apart from everybody else who lets emotions run the show. Let's get one thing straight right out the gate. Men respect what they can't manipulate. And this doesn't come from a place of arrogance or playing games. It comes from a place of knowing your worth and refusing to let anybody, no matter who they are, play with your standards. When a man meets a woman who stands firm on who she is, what she believes, and what she'll allow, he knows immediately that he can't just walk in and do whatever he wants. He realizes, I can't talk to her any kind of way. I can't come and go as I please. I can't give her half effort and expect full access. That type of woman, that's the one who commands respect without ever raising her voice. See, the truth is, if a man feels like he can play you, he will. If he sees that all it takes is a few sweet words, a little charm, some attention when it's convenient for him, and you'll drop everything, forget your standards, and take him back over and over, he's not going to respect you. He might stick around, he might enjoy the comfort, but deep down, there's no real respect, because real respect is born in boundaries, is born when you show him that love doesn't mean losing yourself, that loyalty doesn't mean tolerating anything, that compassion doesn't mean you're blind to patterns. Men take mental notes. They pay attention to how much you tolerate, how fast you forgive, how easy it is for them to come back after disappearing. They test the waters, not always out of malice, but to see where the lines are drawn. And if they find no line, if they find you always available, always understanding, always waiting, then they start losing respect, even if they don't admit it out loud. But when they come across a woman who's not moved by potential, who's not swayed by empty promises, who knows that her time is valuable and her peace is sacred, that's when everything changes. Because you're not emotional bait. You're not someone to be tested over and over. You don't have to prove your worth to anybody. You don't have to beg for effort or chase after clarity. You are the table. You bring value, wisdom, strength, and grace to the relationship. And any man who truly sees that knows he has to come correct. He knows he has to step up, not just show up. He knows he can't play you because you won't even give him the chance. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean being cold, hard, or guarded. It means being wise, being solid, being aware of who you are and refusing to shrink or settle for less just to keep someone around. A man may not always say it, but he'll always feel it when you hold yourself to a higher standard. He'll know he has to be intentional because access to you is earned, not given freely. And here's the real power in all this. When you stop letting men manipulate you, you stop attracting the ones who want to. You start attracting the ones who are ready, the ones who respect your boundaries, who value your time, who don't feel threatened by your strength, but inspired by it. Because the right man doesn't want to control you. He wants to grow with you. He doesn't want to manipulate your emotions. He wants to protect your heart. So hold your line. Don't explain your standards. Don't apologize for your worth. Let your consistency do the talking. Let your boundaries speak loud. Let your peace be the filter. Because when a man realizes he can't manipulate you, he has two choices. Either step up and match your energy, or step off and make room for someone who will. And either way, you win, because you're no longer living for attention. You're living in your power. And that kind of woman, she's unforgettable, she's undeniable, and above all, she's respected.